Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really interesting topic, projecting intelligence. We've got a bunch of sources, including things like a manual for perceived intelligence, and we're boiling it all down. So our mission for you, the listener, is pretty focused. We want to pull out the specific, actionable things, communication tricks, nonverbal cues that can, actually boost how intelligent people think you are.
Exactly. And it's crucial to remember we're talking about perception here, how people see you.
Right. Not necessarily changing your actual IQ overnight.
Precisely. We're looking at how cognitive biases work, how people judge you, sometimes, super quickly. This deep dive is about mastering those signals, verbal habits, appearance, confidence, all of it.
Making sure the outside matches the inside, basically.
Or at least making sure the outside sends the right signals. Sometimes brilliant people just don't project it well.
Okay, before we really dig in, I want to jump to maybe the most surprising thing we found.
Yeah.
And honestly, the cheapest.
Oh, I think I know the one you mean.
Yeah. It costs nothing. You can do it immediately. And the sources say it works. It's just adding your middle initial.
Sounds almost too simple, doesn't it?
It really does. But we'll unpack the why behind that soon. Just wanted to throw that out there right at the start. Okay, so let's get into the blueprint, starting with how you sound the verbal side.
The sound of intelligence.
Yeah. And interestingly, the first instinct most people have, talk more, talk louder, fill the silence, seems to be, well, wrong, according to this material.
That's right. It's one of those counterintuitive points. The research actually suggests that people who are perceived as highly intelligent often listen more than they speak.
Really? More listening?
Yeah, they let others do more of the talking. It signals confidence, actually. Like, you don't feel the need to constantly prove yourself. Plus, it shows you're engaged, curious.
Okay, I get that. But couldn't that backfire? Couldn't you just seem passive? Or like you didn't prepare?
Good point. It's not about just being quiet. It's about active listening, the kind that leads to really good contributions when you do speak. Okay. So the sources push for shifting focus. Instead of just stating facts, you ask really thoughtful questions. A great question often shows more intelligence than just, reciting something.
Right, it shows you're thinking, synthesizing,
Yeah.
not just talking.
Exactly. It changes the whole dynamic, makes it feel more like exploration, less like a performance.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, what about the actual mechanics? Because you could have brilliant thoughts, but if the delivery's sloppy.
Oh, absolutely. Delivery is huge. Speaking clearly, deliberately. And this means, actively cutting out the fillers.
The ums and ahs.
The likes, they're like little speed bumps for the listener. Even if your ideas are great, those fillers can suggest hesitation, maybe disorganized thinking.
So smooth, measured speech projects control.
Control and clarity. Definitely.
And related to that, the sources were pretty clear on swearing, too.
Yes. Avoiding excessive swearing seems directly linked to appearing more intelligent. It's about vocabulary, really. Precision.
Like choosing your words carefully suggests a more rigorous mind.
That seems to be the connection people make, yeah. Relying on, let's say, very general or emotionally charged language, including swearing, can sometimes suggest a lack of finer control over your language.
Okay. Now let's loop back to that. That almost weird finding. The middle initial. Chris Jones versus Chris R. Jones.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Purely cosmetic.
But studies back it up. It makes you seem more intellectual, more competent.
Apparently so. It taps into something called a formality biases. Our brains sort of subconsciously link formality and complexity, even something as simple as an extra initial with things like expertise, academia, professionalism.
So it just gives your name a bit more weight, gravitas.
Exactly, like an author on a research paper or something. It's a tiny psychological nudge, but the effect seems to be measurable.
Wild. Okay, highest ROI change ever, maybe. Let's shift from sound to sight now. Section 2, the visual signal. Body language, appearance, all that nonverbal stuff.
Which is critical. Humans are very visual, first impressions count, and they're often visual.
So where do we start? Eye contact.
Definitely eye contact. The sources really emphasize maintaining it when you're speaking to someone. It signals honesty, focus, confidence. Looking away can seem shifty or like you're unsure.
Yeah, makes sense. And posture, too. I always think about that. Slouching just looks bad.
It communicates low energy, maybe disinterest. Standing or sitting up straight, shoulders back, it's basic physics of confidence, like you said.
You take up more space.
You do. It signals you feel you belong, that your input matters. Think about someone hunched over versus someone sitting tall. The perceived competence difference is huge.
Totally. And Okay, we have to talk about the appearance hacks. The classic one, glasses.
Ah, yes, the glasses effect. It sounds like a stereotype, maybe even a bit tired.
But it works.
The research suggests it does. People wearing glasses, especially maybe the full-rimmed kind, are often perceived as more intelligent, more studious. It's like a visual shorthand for the brain.
A quick way to categorize someone as intellectual.
Seems like it, yeah.
But beyond just glasses, there's a broader rule about how you present yourself.
Right, absolutely. The general rule is just dress smartly, appropriately for the situation.
And smartly doesn't just mean expensive clothes.
Not at all. It means clean, neat, put together. It signals that you manage details well. And the underlying assumption people make is if you can manage the small detail of your appearance, you can probably handle bigger, more complex things too.
Like, if you can't manage a clean shirt, can you manage a project?
That's the implied logic, yes. It's all signaling.
Okay. And one more subtle thing before we move on. Facial expression. The sources mentioned a smile.
Yes, but a subtle one. Not a huge, constant grin.
Right.
A gentle, well-timed smile. It's a balancing act. Too serious, you might seem smart, but cold, unapproachable. A little smile makes you seem intelligent and personable, open to interaction.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift again. Section 3, the internal foundation. This is less about the surface and more about the behaviors that signal real knowledge and confidence.
Right. This is about the substance behind the style. And the sources are very clear. You actually have to be informed.
You can't just fake it forever.
Not sustainably, no. You need to keep up with current events, developments in your field, broader topics too.
Yeah.
It gives you conversational ammunition, lets you engage intelligently when things move beyond small talk.
You have to feed the brain you're trying to project.
Well put. And that feeds directly into the core need. You have to act confident. Believe in yourself. Project that assurance. Not arrogance, but genuine self-belief. If you don't seem convinced, why should anyone else be?
Okay, so stay informed, act confident. But this is where it gets tricky, right? The sources talk about the danger zone.
Exactly. The huge caveat, the absolute make or break point, the difference between confidence and bluffing.
That fine line. Be assured, but don't lie.
Precisely. You must project assurance, but the manual is incredibly clear. It is far, far better to just say, I don't know, than to try and fake knowing something.
Okay, let's play that out. Say you're in a meeting. Big boss asks a super specific question, slightly outside your area.
Right. If you try to bluff, what happens?
You risk getting caught.
And that risk is huge. People are often better at detecting bluffs than we think, little nonverbal tells, hesitation.
Yeah.
And if you are caught, it's disastrous.
Why?
Because it doesn't just make you look bad on that specific point. It retroactively casts doubt on everything else you said. It screams intellectual dishonesty. All credibility evaporates.
Ouch. Okay. But what if you just say, that's a specific detail I'd need to double check. I can get you the exact answer in, say, 10 minutes.
Now that signals something totally different. It shows security, integrity, humility even. It shows you prioritize accuracy over just looking good in the moment.
Which, ironically, makes you seem more intelligent.
Absolutely. Real experts know the limits of their knowledge.
Sure.
True confidence isn't pretending to know everything. It's being secure enough to admit when you don't and showing the initiative to find out. It actually reinforces the perception of competence, bizarrely enough.
That's actually really empowering.
Yeah.
Takes the pressure off needing to have every single answer instantly.
It does. Honesty builds a much stronger foundation.
Okay, so wrapping this all up for the listener, what's the big picture here? We've gone through a lot. Verbal tricks, body language, even wardrobe choices.
And that core honesty piece.
Right. It's this multifaceted approach. You've got these almost surprisingly simple tactics, like the middle initial, maybe the glasses, the smile.
Quick wins, you could call them.
Yeah. But then combined with really fundamental communication skills, genuine listening, asking good questions, speaking clearly, ditching these and us.
So the synthesis, really, is that this is about consciously managing your signals. It's a guide to effectively projecting the competence you have, making sure your communication, verbal and nonverbal, and your presentation all align to send a consistent, credible message.
It's the whole package. Okay, so this leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to sort of chew on. Thinking about this whole toolkit, especially that crucial point about honesty, the willingness to just say, I don't know, does that one act, that moment of intellectual humility, maybe do more than anything else? Does it actually bridge the gap, making the perception of intelligence feel much closer to, well, genuine wisdom? Something to think about as you apply these ideas.